Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, here we are, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. That's the day of the week where we drift into the weekend slowly but surely. But here we are once again, back in action. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Coffee Hour. And we're here every Friday at this time. Of course, we get you involved in the conversation and get you involved in the family because that's what we're all about. We're here every Friday. We thank you so much for being along with us. We've got so many things to talk about today, because we got a long weekend ahead of us, and we're going to get into that a little later on in the program. But in the meantime, we want to thank you for being here. And for those of you who have been around with us all of these years, of course, we're so truly grateful for your presence each week. And there's a lot of you who may be new at this particular point. So let me tell you what it's all about. Yes, the Coffee Hour brings you a lot of great fun and conversation and getting you involved in it. And how we do it is, as the host of the show, get things rolling as I'm doing now. And at any time at all, even right now, if you're at your computer or you're at your cell phone or maybe your tablet, you have a keyboard, just type in whatever you want to say. I will see you right there on the big screen. Of course, I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, because that's what it's all about. Free exchange of ideas and opinions. And we have it on this show each week, and we want you there right here. Now, you could be anywhere around the world. I don't care where it is. As long as you're in a place where there's great Wi-Fi and a hotspot, we're right there. We're global, and we want you to tell your friends about it, family, and everybody else, get them involved too. We're coming on 3 different platforms as you watch us. We're on live, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And any one of those platforms, you can see us and hear us, and we'll be at service to you for the whole hour right through these 3 platforms. So we thank you so much for being along once again. And thank you guys, Facebook. You guys are so faithful out there, and YouTube, and all of you guys. We really thank you so much for being along with us. Also, if you're here for the first time, particularly if you're watching us on Facebook, what we want you to do, and even you guys who've been around for a long time, you already know the protocol. You have a chance right now and tag this show to your friends. It's very easy. You don't have to miss anything by doing it. It's just simple. Just tag it to them. They'll see the tag coming from you. They'll know it's from you. They'll trust you. They'll click onto it. And guess what? No effort at all. It brings them right here where you are. You can do that right away. So we really would appreciate if you do that. And as many friends as you want, it doesn't matter. You can do them all. You can do some. Maybe you have so many people in your friend base that will, just too many to do it. So listen, do it once, add a few today, next week, add a few more, and add a few more as we go on, and so forth and so on. We really would appreciate that. And of course, the more, the merrier. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I always encourage you to go to our YouTube channel. You're there right now. Is to click on to the YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe to us. How do you do that? Simple. You see that subscription where it says subscribe right there? Well, drag your mouse over to it, point the arrow to it, click onto it, and it's there. You're already subscribed. And there's no money involved. There's not going to be a pop-up saying, use your credit card. No, none of that. It's all free. Just subscribe to us, because when you do that, that gives us a chance to know how many people are following us and how many people are behind us and how many people watch the show all the time. And it also gives you the opportunity to know whenever we come on live or any other activity that's performed on the YouTube channel, well, you get an instant notification inviting you online to see that. And when you get that notification, just click onto the notification and it brings you right to the channel. Just as simple as that. So we want everybody involved. Tell your family and friends to do the same thing as well. For you guys who are watching us on Instagram, no need to do anything. Just keep following us and keep spreading the word around and let them know. And you guys who are on Instagram and Facebook, or YouTube, I should say, you can do the same thing, something similar to the people who tag their friends on Facebook. You can do basically the same thing. The difference is wherever you are and whatever platform you're watching us on, cut and paste the link and send it to them. and it'll get right to them. They'll click onto it and it brings them directly to us. They'll see you, they'll see me, and everybody in the room. You can talk to me and you can talk to everybody that comes in too. That's how it goes. So everybody gets a shot at each other. We all talk to each other because we're one big happy family. In conjunction with doing all of that, we interact with you. We do that each week. And we would like you to know that also we have our certain niches that we do here. For instance, in just a few minutes from now, we're going to call on Brian Camp. Now, we're going to link up with him. He's out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm coming out of New York City, but we're going to link up with him. You're going to see him on the big screen as well. And he's going to give us the latest developments in today's world of sports. The name of his show is called Sports Update. We're looking forward to seeing that. And he has a lot to talk about in sports. He was with us last night on Talk Back Live, and he'll deliver some of that news and maybe current news that's coming up in sports. And if you have any kind of sports related question for him, when he comes in live, you could ask him and just type it in and he'll see it and he'll answer your question too. Now, if you're watching us on Instagram, you won't ever get a chance to see him, all right? Because we're not aligned to do that just yet. I hope it's very soon, but that depends on the people who operates Instagram. You won't get a chance to see him on screen, but you'll hear him. And you can still do the same thing. You can still ask your questions, type it in, and we'll get the questions to him, providing he don't see them. We look out for all of them. I look out for all the platforms, you know, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and whatever questions that he doesn't see, I'm going to relay it to them anyway. But he'll see some of you guys on Facebook as you come in. And so that's how it operates. You'll get your questions answered anyway. So that's all coming up. And later on in the program, before the show is over, we have those movies that we bring to you each week, because I know the weekend is here and it's a long weekend and you may have time for it. You're going to do a lot of cookouts, barbecue, all of that for the Labor Day holiday weekend. It's a long weekend. You might be able to fit in some of the movies or watch some of the movies you haven't seen in a long time, you know, catch up on some old movies. So what I did is, and I do it each week, I grab movies from Turner Classic Movies because I love those classics, some of the black and whites and all of those things. I took my picks of the week for your weekend. And I am going to relay those movies to you later on in the program so you can add it to your list of what to watch this weekend. All that's coming up. And those of you who are at work right now, you may be in a time zone where you're at work. You may be on your coffee break. Please be in mind that you can use your coffee break instead of roaming around the office and chewing the fat. You can do that later, right? Right? Sit at your desk, at your computer, watch the show, and enjoy your coffee at the same time. And when that 15 or 20 minutes allotted to you for coffee is all over, you'll still be at your desk. You don't have to miss a thing. You can do what they call multitasking, watching the show and working at the same time. So that's what we have for you right through the whole hour. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on the show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other broadcast facility or social media outlet. So that all being said, let's do what we always do. Let's raise our cups and our glasses with our beverages in it. Hopefully it's nice coffee, whatever you want to drink. And excuse me while I shoot up. Oh boy, that's great. That's great. Your thing doesn't have to be coffee though. It could be orange juice, it could be milk, it could be tea, it could be anything, you know, but enjoy it with us while we're here. We've got so many things to talk about during the course of the show, and we're going to get right into it. We'll do a lot of the rambling with you if you'd like to get involved too. We've got people who want to come in and get to know us, and if you do get involved in conversation, what we want you to do is give us your weather report wherever you are. You know, it's Friday, right? We want to see what the weather is like. See, I like to compare notes. It's not mandatory that you do that. You know, that's something that I ask each week, and a lot of people do. Some people don't. They rather just watch the show and not say anything, but that's okay too. But if you decide that you want to get involved in conversation, or even say hello or anything like that, give us your weather forecast. It doesn't have to be a full-blown weather forecast. It can be something simple, like the emoji that gives me the opportunity to know whether it's cloudy in your area or whether it's, sunny, warm, got a heat wave going on, whatever it is, we'd like to hear from you. So please do that. But for those of you who live in the New York area or even in the vicinity of New York, don't worry about it, because I will take care of the local stuff, because we originate from New York. That's where we're coming from, New York City, and we are going to give you that weather forecast, and we'll take care of all of that. And just as a warning, the weather doesn't look good this weekend, but there's a surprise at the end of it. We'll tell you more about that later as we go along. Okay, so that's what we have going on. And again, those of you who are watching us at your work, stay at your desk, watch the show right there. And again, when we do sports, if you have any questions for Brian, make sure you get them all in order right now so we can go right through it, and he'll answer the questions as quickly as possible. So we got all of that coming up. Here we are at the end of the month. We got one more day in this month. Tomorrow is the 31st of August. And that being said, September is just around the corner. The Labor Day weekend is coming up. And after the Labor Day weekend, then the kids go back to school. A lot of you parents, or some of you, are looking forward to that, because you said, oh, I spent the whole summer with them. I need a little rest. And I think this is your opportunity to get that. And a lot of you parents have gone shopping with your kids, buying new clothes and all kinds of great stuff for school supplies and getting ready for the school years. And I know there are a lot of people, a lot of school kids that are actually looking forward to going back to school, because they get to see their friends who they haven't seen all summer long. And a lot of you maybe taking the whole summer vacationing out of your city or wherever you live, and home sweet home, you're back, and then you're going back to school. So all of that is coming up, and we've got a lot of things coming up. So we invite you to stay around with us and enjoy the show. Now, those of you who don't want to participate in talking, that's okay, as long as you're out there. And if you can't spend the whole hour with us, spend as much as you can. We really appreciate the amount of time that you could spend with us, but we hope the case is that you're able to stay with us for the entire hour. Well, we've got 67 days left, 67 marvelous days left before that glorious day, that marvelous day, that election day, which falls on November 5th, Tuesday, November 5th. That's when we all get out and vote. Cast your lines out for voting, because we are going to hire a president of the United States. That's all I'm saying. We're going to hire. We do the hiring. We are the people. We select who we want to be in that White House. And that's what we're going to do on that day, November 5th. Now, you can vote. A lot of people, the primaries, I think, are all over now. The primaries are all over, and pretty soon, a couple of weeks from now, in certain cities, they're going to have early voting, so you can do that. And they're great options. There are a lot of options for people who can't get around as much as some can. But you have the option of voting by mail. You can do that. You have the option of doing early voting, which in your area, your Board of Elections can tell you when it will happen, and can tell you where your polling base is, and you can go there and check it out. And then you can vote on election day. Isn't that nice that you can have all of those options? Because a lot of people won't be able to do it on election day, for whatever reason. And we understand that. And that's why they have the early voting. And so you could pick a day out of the week where it's convenient for you, as long as the voting, early voting is in progress, you can go and do that. And then for people, let's say, for instance, some senior citizens who can't physically get around, you can go and vote by mail. Okay, and that's another good option. And you don't even have to be disabled to vote by mail. Maybe that's something that you just want to do. You don't want to get out in the crowd. You don't want to go to the polls. You just want to get it over with. Now, for all of you who want to vote by mail, what I want you to do is take the time to go to your Board of Elections, right? Now, I don't know around the world, across the country here, across the country, there may be some voting polls that you don't know about that are open, and they may switch to it, or you can find all that information. But if you want to vote by mail, call your Board of Elections. Go on, Google it, find out. You can, that's very simple. Just find out. You go on your computer and find out where that is, where the location is. They'll give you the location, the telephone number, et cetera, et cetera. And then all you have to do is be proactive and go out there and do it. Now, as I said, I don't have the addresses for all of the voting, but I do have for New York City. Since I'm coming out of New York City, that's where I'm originating. I have the local office for people who live in the New York City area where they can go and get that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you that. And it's the same thing for the rest of you guys. Once you do that, go to your Board of Election. In this case, our Board of Elections in Manhattan, in New York City. It's right in Manhattan, and it's at 200 Varick Street in Manhattan. That's downtown Manhattan. 200 Varick Street. It's on the 10th floor. And you could pay them a visit. You can go there and pay them a visit and find out, you know, if you're not aware of where your polling station is, ask them any questions. Maybe you want to ask them, and you can do that right away. You can ask them if your status is intact as far as your registration, that you are registered to vote. And because if you're not, you know, you can't vote. All right. Make sure that you're registered. Just stay on top of it. That's all. You probably are, but stay on top of it anyway. Just to make sure. And I do that each year, each voting year. I do that. And so after that, you can call them and find out where your polling station is. And the telephone number, by the way, so you can call them and visit them, telephone number. And it's best that you call them before you visit them. That would be a better idea. So with that, it's 212-886-2100. Okay, let me repeat that once again. It's 212-886-2100. That's your local Board of Elections, right, office in New York City. And you give them a call or pay them a visit, and they'll have all of the answers for you. They'll let you know. They can tell you, you know, when voting is, early voting starts, you know, which is a good idea. I should find that out because I'm not really sure myself when it starts here in New York City. But they have all of that information for you. And again, those of you who want to vote by mail, call them, let them know, say, hey, I want to vote by mail. They'll take your address and mailing address, and they'll send you the ballot in the mail. And once you get the ballot, you can fill it out at your home at the comfort of peace and quiet of your own home. Now, make sure when you fill out that ballot, look it over very carefully. This is not like one of those questionnaires. It's not a questionnaire. So you have to look it over very carefully because you don't want to mark the wrong thing, or you don't want to vote for the person that you intended not to vote for. All right. So you want to make sure that you get it right. So do it. You know, once you get it in the mail, you know, take your time with it. You have all day, and you have up until, again, the election day. You have 67 days before you get it out there. And once you get it, just take your time, fill it out. And after you fill it out, double check it, triple check it. And then once you know that you have it down the way you want it, you fold it up. It's confidential, throw it in the mail, and that's it. You know, because once they have because I've done it once. I voted by mail just once, and it's a good system to do. And once you fold it up, it's all confidential, and you send it out confidential, and your voting is in. All right. And for you early voters, we look forward to seeing you guys out in the polls. A lot of things are going on because this election day is very important. I think this is the most important election day that I know of, the most important election day, all right? Because we're voting, there's a lot of things on the line that we should be looking forward to, a lot of things on the line. So please do that, okay? All right, again, you're tuned to the coffee hour, and we're with you for the whole full hour. And again, just in case you're just joining us, we want you to stay with us. And if you intend to get into conversation with us, we would really appreciate that. We love talking to you, and we'd love to get to know you as well. We want to say good morning to Warren out there from Greensboro, North Carolina, and we want to say hello to Mary Reed out of Brooklyn, New York, and she's tuning in from the doctor's office. So she's got she's in the doctor's office, all right? Mary in the doctor's office, all right? Say hello to all of the people that are surrounding you. I want to wave to the people. I know you're surrounded by a lot of people, so I just want to wave to them. And thank you for being along with us. And she's going out to vote. Everybody's going to get ready to go out and vote, all right? And Warren, if you be nice to give us what's happening as far as your weather is concerned, we do that. But for those of you who are in New York, in the New York area, don't worry about it, because what I am going to do, I'm going to give you the local weather forecast in the New York area. I started out by saying it's 67 degrees outside right now. And I started out saying earlier that the weather is not too good in New York City, but I'll give you the surprise, all right? That may cheer you up. Right now, here we go. Let's get started right now. Move on quickly. It's going to be mostly cloudy today. And we're going to have a high around 73 degrees. That's the highest. So the temperatures dropped a little. Winds will be east at 15 to 20 miles per hour, or 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy early, followed by cloudy skies overnight. And then we'll have a low of 67 degrees. There's no rain in the forecast as of yet. But we got winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour for tonight. Saturday is going to be cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. We have a high 79 degrees. Winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, cloudy skies early, followed by scattered showers and thunderstorms later during the night. We'll have a low around 72 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain will be 50%. And for Sunday, as you get ready to gear up for your Monday, the cookout and everything, well, it's going to be showers early, then scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day with a high 83 degrees, winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, chance of rain 40%. And for Sunday night, partly cloudy, low 66, no rain in the forecast, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now the surprise out of all of that, for Monday, perfect. A few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny. And we'll have a high around 78 degrees, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Don't worry about it. It's going to be just fine. I know you're going to love it. All right. So that's the good news for you. And here's some more good news for you guys who love sports. We've got it for you. Brian Camp is coming along with us, and he has the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And any questions that you may have for Brian, of course, he has, and he's going to deliver. And he's beckoning me in right now.
Ask the questions. Ask the questions. Don't be afraid. Anything you ask, I'm going to give you a straight answer, the right answer. If it may be a little bit off, I'll come back at you before the show's over and give you the correct answer. But good morning to you all out there. Good morning to you. Good morning to Mary. Good morning to Warren. And good morning to the people that's listening globally. Good morning. People listening nationally. Good morning. And people listening and tuning in locally. Good morning. Hope all is well to you all. It is 82 degrees here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's going up to 92. Told you that heat wave is not yet going, but in some parts of the country, it's the dog days of August where it gets a little chilly. That's when you know school is back in. That's when you know school is back in, when it gets that gloomy, cool weather and everything. But now, not out here in the South. It's still hot. It's still warm, and it's going to get hotter, 92 degrees. But let me get to sports. Well, let's start with football. Tom Brady is waiting for approval to be partial owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Pending, he would be forced to abide by unique and severe restrictions in his dual role as a Fox broadcaster. As you know, he signed a contract a couple of years ago while he was still playing. The contract says once you retire, you'll be the leading number one team in broadcasting NFL games on Fox television. No school. He didn't go to school. He has no experience. I'm pretty sure he had to go to a session where he had to do some broadcasting when it comes to television, and especially in sports. They're going to use his expertise in sports. Now, Tom Brady is not permitted to be in another team's facility because he's pending of being an owner. He's not permitted to be to witness any practice, and not permitted to attend broadcast productions meetings either in person or virtually, like what we're doing now. We're doing streaming, so he can't do anything in person or over the internet. Now, Brady is prohibited from publicly criticizing game officials and other NFL clubs. Now, he could disagree with a call, but he cannot criticize them. Big difference. Brady can't disagree with a call on the air. He could be subject to fines and even a suspension. Pretty sure he can go around that. He is subject to the league's gambling policy. He is subject to the league's anti-tampering policies as well. It means he can't tamper because his situation is pending where he might become a minority owner of another NFL football team. This is what they do in all sports. Athletes who retired or even some that still play have a right to own a team, and they could still be, into the same sport as well. Colorado football has banned Denver Post columnist Sean Keeler from asking questions of football coach primetime Deion Sanders or other members of the football program after a series of personal attacks on the football program, and specifically against the coach himself. Now, this individual has been taking shots at him ever since Deion Sanders became the coach. Well, he's been banned. The Colorado University Athletic Department, in conjunction with the football program, had decided not to take questions from the Denver Colonist Post. When you talk personal, it's okay to talk sports, but when you talk about personal issues of someone's business and their family, especially their families, then you know that is personal, and you cannot have that. You cannot have that at all. Now, speaking of which, Primetime's Colorado Buffaloes won the game last night against North Dakota State. I don't know how good is this North Dakota State. We don't even know how good is Colorado, but Colorado won the game in a very tight game. His son, Primetime's son, played very well. And this football player that's also on Colorado, I liked him a lot. I liked him last year. Travis Hunter. He is a special kind of player. He plays both sides of the ball. He plays defense and he plays offense. And he's going to be a great talent in the NFL. So we're going to keep an eye out on him. Now, this is some sad news. Buckner University has told the parents of a freshman football player, Calvin C.J. Dickey Jr. He's an 18-year-old freshman, died July 12th, 2 days after collapsing at his first workout with the Bisons. Bisons is the team's nickname. Emergency doctors told the parents that he collapsed from sickle cell traits, related traits, a medical condition that experts told ESPN is easily prevented and evenly it could be reversed. But by simply stop exercising, stop practicing. But apparently the parents said that their son had previously tested positive for the sickle cell trait as part of the NCAA required testing for athletes. So now what's going to happen, you ask? We don't know. We don't know if the family's going to sue. We don't know whether or not what's going to happen. But the idea that, we lose a young man who's 18 years old, we were hoping that they was hoping for a promising future. And right now, this is a sad situation. We just don't know what's going to happen, whether the family's going to sue or not. But if the family knew about the testing of him becoming sick, had sickle cell traits, then that's a little dicey situation. So we're not going to tamper with that. We'll just wait and see. sad news that happened this morning overnight. One National Hockey League player and his brother was killed in an automobile accident. This is why we tell you don't drink and drive. The two brothers weren't driving at all. The person that was in the other vehicle was diagnosed with a DUI. You can't drink and you can't drive. How many times have we seen this? I give you an example. I don't drink. I'm not a drinker, but I was driving. I was driving for a long period of time. This is some years ago, and I went through a stop sign. I was working a double shift. I went through a stop sign. My eyes was wide open, but I was like asleep while my eyes was open. Luckily, this was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I went to the stop sign and almost hit a parked car. Can't do that. Pull over, go to sleep, or don't work a double shift. If you know you're going to be tired, don't do it. If you know you're going to be drinking, have a designated driver with you. This is to protect everyone as well, okay, on both sides. Major League Baseball, well, we're coming down to the stretch now. The Yankees and the Orioles, they're going to go right to the wire. They're only like a game out for the division. They'll both make the playoffs. The American League Central, the Cleveland Guardians and the Kansas City Royals are coming right down to the wire. They're only a half a game separates them. And the old Houston Astros, who Yankee fans hate the most, are still battling for the American League West against the Seattle Mariners. That's a tight race. In the National League, well, you got 3 teams. The Phillies are holding on to a slim lead over the Braves and the Mets. In the Central, it's just the Milwaukee Brewers. Nobody's challenging them. They got a 10-game lead. And in the National League West, those hated, dreadful Dodgers, who I don't like, are in first place. They're a couple of games, 3 games ahead of Arizona and San Diego. So we're coming down the stretch. It's going to get interesting, even in the MVP race. Aaron Judge for the American League and Shohei Ohtani for the National League. These guys are having spectacular years for their teams. And we're just going to watch. Ohtani could be the first player to have 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in the same year. And Aaron Judge could break his own American League record of 62 home runs. He broke it last year. So we're going to wait, keep on tuning in, because it's going to get real dicey. The NBA has asked the New York Supreme Court to dismiss a lawsuit by Warner Brothers Discovery, which alleged that the league breached its contract by rejecting the WBD matching offer for a new media rights deal and instead signing with Amazon. This is from the July 26th signing of the NBA signing a new deal with 11-year media rights deal worth over $76 billion. Let me say that again, $76 billion with Disney, the parent company of ESPN/ABC. NBC and Amazon Prime Video runs through the starting this here contract next year to 2035, 2036 season. So there are 11 years of new sports, of new basketball on NBC and Amazon Prime. Local channels are beginning to fade away. So this day in sports, August 30th, New York Yankee Ali pitches a baseball record of, he threw a pitch of 94.7 miles per hour. This is my point that I've been trying to tell these here fools here on social media. Baseball in that era was like playing wiffle ball or softball compared to what pitchers are throwing the ball today. Pitchers are throwing the ball over 100 miles per hour. The average fastball back in those days, before 1947, I'll leave it like that because you know what happened in 1947. But before 1947, the average thrown pitch was 94.7. I could have hit a home run out of the park with that pitch. Let it go. 1961, Jack Fisher walks 12 LA Angels in a 9-inning game. And 1965, Casey Stengel announces his retirement after 55 years in baseball. Birthdays today. Happy birthday to, born in 1918, Ted Williams, Hall of Fame outfielder, World War II and Korean War veteran. He did 2 terms in the war. Was born in San Diego, California. 1944, Major League right-handed pitcher, father of Tim McGraw. Tug McGraw's birthday. You ever know the Mets pitcher Tug McGraw? His son plays in Yellowstone, that Western TV series that's on Paramount. Tim McGraw. Anyway, happy birthday to the late Tug McGraw of New York Mets, was born in Martinez, California. 1953, happy birthday to Robert Parrish, NBA Center, Hall of Famer, 3-time NBA champion, was born in Shreveport, Louisiana. And 1977, happy birthday to Sean Alexander, NFL running back, born in 2005, born in Florence, Kentucky. And happy birthday to yesterday, forgot to mention this, but I'm glad you mentioned it, to my favorite entertainer of all time, Michael Jackson. Happy birthday to Michael Jackson. Continue to rest in peace. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on our Labor Day weekend.
Boy. Bob Gibson, the late Bob Gibson from the St. Louis Cardinals, threw 90 miles an hour, and he was considered the hardest throwing pitcher in major leagues. 90 miles an hour. And you know something? Like you said, these guys are throwing harder than that now.
They are.
Or much harder than that now. Now, if you throw me a 90 mile an hour pitch, even at my age, I could still knock it out of the park. Even at my age. But yeah, these guys are throwing hard. I don't know what they're putting in the food these days.
Could be PEDs, performance enhancement drugs, but we won't.
I think they kind of like dismiss that now. I don't think it's as easy in Major League Baseball as it once were, because a lot of people were doing it. You know,
people still getting caught though.
Yeah. You know, even though it may be a no-no in Major League Baseball, but it could be, people can get around it. People have a way of getting around things like that. You know, but I would prefer that athletes make it on their own merits, you know, because let's face it, if you don't have it, you don't have it. Derek Jeter never used it.
No.
And look,
but there's been rumor that even the greats like Hank Aaron, Mickey Mantle, you know, there's been talk, rumor, but no proof. I believe that everybody was using something at one point or the other. Some people got caught. A lot of people did not get caught. And a few, may not even touched it. So we don't know.
In Mantle's case, it was booze for him.
Yeah.
You know?
In Babe Ruth's case, it was just hot dogs and beer.
Yeah. Everybody had their own little thing, you know. But the rule was that you want to stay fit. You want to lay off all of the hot dogs and the beer. You want to lay off of that. You're an athlete, right? And that just brings me back when I can't remember the team that was invited to the White House under that other administration prior.
Yeah.
These are athletes, well-bred athletes, and they got served Burger King.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I know that you mentioned a little while ago about to go out and vote. Everybody better vote. I can't tell you who to vote for. That's not the right thing to do, and is illegal in many cases. But I'm going to tell you who I'm voting for.
I'll tell you who not to vote for.
I'm voting for the person that's going to keep the Civil Rights Act, the Voters' Rights Act, and the Federal Housing Act to keep it going. And I believe she will do a good job. Again, I can't tell you who I'm voting for. I can't say the name, but she will do a good job to protect that.
Yeah, keep your voting rights to yourself. Don't say who you're voting for. We understand that, even though we know that she.
Yeah. You never know on both sides We just don't know who's who nowadays, Leave that alone.
Ooh, wow, we will leave that alone.
Ouch.
Because I've heard a certain person was turned out by a certain lawyer, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. Forget about it. To each his own. And besides, we're in a world now where people love who they love, and I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
I should make this into a comedy show. No, but I'll leave that to the Saturday Night Live people. They're good. They're good. You could tell that those people from Saturday Night Live continuously watch the news because they're up on all of those topics, and they have characters that can imitate all of those people.
That's right. That's right.
Very good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to go back to you said something earlier, and you mentioned in one of your reports something about sickle cell. I just want to bring on to the fact that starting Saturday, which is Saturday is the first. Oh, Sunday is the first day of September, and so I just wanted to bring out that's also sickle cell awareness month. But I'll tell you more about that when the month comes along each week. But that's what they're doing. And sickle cell, by the way, is more effective on African Americans than it is on any other race.
Yes, absolutely.
So be very careful about that. Hey, listen, the weekend is coming up. Here we go. It's a long weekend. A lot of people are going to be doing a lot of things, and they're going to do everything from going out to play baseball to eating burgers. Yeah.
Today I have to go to my local church that I attend to. We're going to be looking for the high school football team, the Palisades high school football team.
Yeah.
So, I'll be doing that. I'm going to the church, be there around 2:00. Tomorrow, I'm going to my cousin's house on the other side of North Carolina.
Yeah.
And we're going to get down on some barbecue. We're going to do a little ribs and jerk ribs and little burnt ends and a little bit of that and this and that. So it's going to be a busy weekend for me. Sunday, I might do the same thing, pending leftovers and everything. And then on Labor Day, I'm just going to rest.
Well, Mary said that, Brian, are you going to be barbecuing this weekend and get the smoker ready?
Oh, yeah, I got 3 smokers. Oh, yeah.
But you're not going to be doing it this year, the smokers, are you? You're going to be going away. You're going away.
I can still. I'm not going away yet. I'm going to smoke. I find a reason. I'll smoke an egg if I do, but I'm going to be smoking something. Okay, I got. Oh, my backyard is full with smokers. I got the smoke. One of the companies try to do me dirty and end up getting a free smoker. So shame on them. You don't do this to Brian Camp, because I find a way to get you back. It took a year. Now I got 3 smokers. Next time, keep your mouth shut. You send me my part, and I'll leave you alone. Now that I got an extra smoker out of you, I'm going to have 3 smokers. And I'm Thanksgiving this year too.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. Once the summer is over, we got Thanksgiving, and then there's Christmas and all of those other, with the snowstorm, the avalanches, and all of that stuff, which I'm not looking forward to. But still, I mean, I only look forward to it because it's another day of living, and I'm glad to see it all. Even though it doesn't look good to me, but I'm glad to see it all.
That's right. That's right.
Listen, whatever your weekend has in store for you, I hope you enjoy it. And as you said, drive safely. If you're going to drink, take a designated driver. That's the most important thing. That's the key thing.
That's right. Thank you so much. Mary, thank you so much. Warren, thank you so much. See you tomorrow, Warren. And hope everybody enjoy your weekend. Be safe and be careful of that disease that's still out there. COVID-19 is still going around. Wear your mask.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Brian. We'll catch you back here next week.
Take care.
That's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's here every week at this time. And of course, it's always a delight to have him aboard. We talk sports and have a good time with it. That's one of the good things about doing the show. You always have a good time. At least on this end, I have a good time. Phil Jones, a CBS News correspondent for more than 30 years, has died. Jones died over the last weekend at his home in Florida. He joined CBS News in 1969 at a time when Walter Cronkite, the CBS News, he did the CBS News Evening News, and he leaves behind a son, Paul, and his daughter, Pam, and he was 87 years old. Ted Danson is returning to the small screen with a new comedy, the Emmy Globe Award winner actor, reunited with Mike Shear, and he's the creator of The Good Place for the forthcoming series, A Man on the Inside, formerly known as The Classic Spy. The comedy is based on the documentary The Mole Agent, which was a 2001 Academy Award nominee for Best Documentary Feature. British rock band Oasis said on Tuesday they would be reuniting after 15 years with brothers Noel and Liam Gallagher, planning a series of live shows in the United Kingdom next year. Oasis, whose debut album Definitely Maybe was released 30 years ago, and they split in 2009 when the lead guitarist and main songwriter Noel Gallagher said he could no longer work with the frontman Liam Gallagher, who's his brother. I couldn't understand that. Well, everybody has a problem. Anyway, the tickets will go on sale on Saturday. The first show will be held in Cardiff, Wales on July 4th, 2025. Kelly Monaco is set to leave General Hospital after more than 2 decades on ABC soap opera. Monaco, who is played the role of Sam McCall on General Hospital since 2003, will make her final appearance in Port Charles this fall. Due to the storyline, Monaco joined the soap opera in 2003 after working on the spin-off series Port Charles, in which she portrayed Liv Locke from the year 2000 to 2003. Dolly Parton's father grew up in a poor and never got the chance to learn how to read. And she, inspired by her upbringing, the 78-year-old country music legend has made it a mission over the past 3 decades to improve literacy through her Imagination Library book giveaway program. It has expanded statewide in places like Missouri and Kentucky, and that's 2 of the 21 states where children under the age of 5 years old can enroll to have books mailed to their homes monthly. To celebrate she made the stops Tuesday in both states to promote the program and tell the story of her father, Robert Lee Parton, who died in the year 2000. Birthdays. Actress Cameron Diaz is 52 years old today. The late Peggy Lipton of Mod Squad would have been 78 years old. Actress Elizabeth Ashley is 85. The late John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas would have been 89 years old. Investor Warren Buffett is 94. Actor Fred McMurray, the late Fred McMurray, would have been 116. And the actress Joan Blondell would have been 118. So happy birthday to all of them and all of you who have been celebrating a birthday. If you're celebrating a birthday, we say happy birthday to you. And for those who are living, and we celebrate the ones who are no longer with us. And if you have a birthday coming up, we would love for you to tell us about it so we can mention it on the air. And you can do that by being proactive, by getting in contact with us. We have an email address and a telephone number. Our email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N. Prod is P-R-O-D. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Or you can call us at 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. You can get in touch with us if you have a birthday coming up, a bar mitzvah, or let's say, for instance, you just want to talk to us about the show. Maybe you want to critique the show, or maybe you have ideas that you want us to implement into the show, or anything at all. Or even if it's just to say hi, that's all. We say hello back. And that's what we're all about. So we want you to keep all of that in your little black book like this, or Rolodex, or whatever you have. But in this day and age, you can get on your computer, leave it there, or leave it in your phone book or your tablet, anything like that. It's simpler that way, and you can carry it along with you. All right, and keep all of the information close by where you can get it at any time at your disposal. All right, so we'll give you that email address once again. Email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. The telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Yes, you could put it in your little black book. You remember me holding this up last week, right? Used to carry these in your pocket, remember? Nostalgia. And I told you last week, and I always try to keep my promises and try to remember that I was going to bring a few items that you guys will probably remember, especially you people who are about in the senior citizen age and things like that. The young people, they wouldn't remember these things. They don't have these things. They have the telephones, right? Everything is stored in there. But we had, before computers came around, they called a little black book. In this case, this is like a tan, yellow tannish kind of color. And we call it a little black book. I don't know why that name is, because they come in different colors, but they call it a little black book, and you could write the names and addresses and everybody that you know, and you can carry it everywhere you go. You can put it in your pocket like this, and you'll never lose it, Thank God for the telephones. Also, we had Rolodexes. Remember Rolodexes? Okay, let me tell you about that. This is what some of the Rolodexes look like. They had the Rolodexes where you could like spin that little wheel, but here's a little one that I have. I have two more of these too, by the way. And this one you open up and you can. These are the Rolodexes, right? And that's what we had back then in those days. And oh yeah, remember this? Remember this? We talked about telephones. Everybody have cell phones. Nobody use landlines anymore. Well, this is one of the phones that I used to. And by golly, ladies and gentlemen, this phone still works. It still works. And here's a little switch over here where you can cut the ringer off in case when you go to bed at night, anybody calls you, you don't hear it, you can cut it on or off. But and the phones before this, they had the rotary dial. Remember that? So that's a little a nostalgia thing right there. What else do I have here? Oh, my very first cell phone. Now, before I show you my very first cell phone, before they had the cell phones, we had these, the beepers. Let me open this up and show you what they look like. These are the beepers. Remember the beepers? You can clip it onto your belt, right? And people would call your number. You had a beeper number, people would call it, it'd go beep, 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 and you would call them back. Now, you wouldn't be able to call them back until you got to a phone booth or anything. Yes, they had phone booths back in those days, phone booth, right? And then I graduated to the cell phone. But back then, when I got the cell phone, back in those days, you had to pay for incoming and outgoing calls. So I had the beeper and the cell phone. So whenever anybody beat me or anybody called me, beat me, I would call them on the cell phone. I could pay for one bill, right? Call them. And this is my very first cell phone. Take it out of the case. This is my very first cell phone. It is now, this is one of those old Motorola's, remember, with the, and now it's a doorstop. I use it as a doorstop. A lot of things. Oh God, so many things. And what else? And we talked about AI, remember? Oh, by the way, here's my high school graduation ring. You see that? That's my high school graduation ring. It's a lot. Remember we talked about AI and how things could be enhanced different ways? Remember we talked about that? Well, here's an example. Here's a dollar bill. I don't know if you could see this or not. I'm gonna hold it up close. And I don't know if you can see it now. It's a dollar bill. I don't know if you can see that. It fades in and out. It has my picture on it. That's AI. A lot of things. A lot of things. And speaking of AI, Here's one more example. Let me see. I don't know if you can see this picture. Okay, it's fading out. It's fading out. It's fading in. It's fading out. But it's a picture of the Rat Pack. All right. Yeah, that's better, right? It's a picture of the Rat Pack. And look who's in the middle. Oh boy. Anyway, there's so many things. And what else do I have? My dad gave me this. This is called it's a collection. It's a collection. And these are the original dimes. Remember with the lady with the wings on her head? Well, I got 3 of those dimes in there. And I have an original, you can't see too well. This is an original Indian head. And on the other side is a buffalo. Indian head, buffalo, dime, nickel, so many things. And finally, here's TV guide, which we don't use anymore. Remember the old TV guides? We don't use them anymore. Use none of this stuff. For all of you people who remember the 45, record 45, RPM. A lot of people say, what is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know, so many things. One more thing. Remember the Pez dispensers? The Pez dispensers, right? Now, back in the old days, back in the 50s, before the dispensers had the character heads like Popeye and all of those characters, it was like this. Now, this is only a replica of the original ones. They have Pez dispensers, and you can open it up and put the candy. This still works too, by the way. All right, well, that's just, I don't want to, get the whole show going on with that. I just figure I'd just tell you that. I brought that out there. But what I'm going to do now, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I did. I enjoyed bringing it to you. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. It's time to give you those movies I was telling you about, and I'm going to do it right quick because we're just almost at the end of the show. But my picks of the week, you have. I have 3 movies this week that I want to talk to you about, and they're great movies going back to 1964. This first one is called Sex and the Single Girl with Tony Curtis, Natalie Wood, and Henry Fonda. That's on Turner Classic Movies this week. It's at Saturday at 9:45 a.m. Eastern. You can also DVR these programs and watch them at your own time convenience if you can't watch them in real time. The next one is Some Like It Hot from 1959, another Tony Curtis movie, this time with Jack Lemmon and Marilyn Monroe. Turner Classic Movies, that's on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And another Tony Curtis movie from 1958, The Defiant One. He did this one with Sidney Poitier, a great black and white movie. I love it. It's on Saturday at 10:15 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies. Go to Turner Classic Movies still. You can still go to Turner Classic Movies and look at the program guide because they have a lot. They have a lot of things on the program guide. Movies, free movies from A to Z, a lot of them. And of course, they have a lot of great pay-per-view movies that are in the theaters right now, and then some that were once in the theaters, you paid for them. You paid less for the ones that were just recently in the theaters, but you still pay for them, and you could do it in the comfort of your own home, right? And of course, you have a lot of good documentaries, children programs, sporting events, Lifetime movies. See what's available with that. I know you like some of those Lifetime movies and see what's available. All the networks there. And it's right there at your disposal. So, you get a chance to do that, right? Okay, so let me tell you about these once again. Sex and the Single Girl from 1964, Tony Curtis, Natalie Wood, Henry Fonda, and that's Turner Classic Movie. That's Saturday at 9:45 a.m. Eastern. Some Like It Hot with Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Marilyn Monroe. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's a black and white too. And that's Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And The Defiant One, Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier, Turner Classic Movie, Saturday at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. And I hope you get a chance to enjoy this. Now, before we go, I just want to mention one other thing to remind you that we only have 67 days left before that glorious day, that marvelous day, that election day. Get out and vote and go out there and exercise your right to vote. Get in contact with your local Board of Elections, so they'll know what it's all about. They'll give you all of the information that you need to know on where your voting station is, or whether or not that you're registered to vote, and I hope that you are. So get out there and vote, exercise your right. It's very important. Well, my weekend is underway and it's a long weekend, but I will be back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. I hope you will be here. Brian Camp will be here with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports. And of course, just like this show, we always entertain you and get you involved in conversation. So also, you can also meet us back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour with me, Brian Camp, and of course you guys as well. We love to have you on board as always, and we get you involved in conversation as well. So ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime, make sure that you have yourself a good day, a good weekend. Remember, if you're going out drinking, have a designated driver, have a great, long, and a marvelous long weekend. Happy Labor Day to each and every one of you, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.